Hi everyone, I'm Ron Corning and thank you for joining us. I'm excited to be a part of Life Elevated, Turtle Creek Association's 20th annual tour of homes. We are about to take our visitors virtually into the clouds for an exclusive look at some of the finest, most glamorous, most well-appointed homes in the Turtle Creek corridor and all of Dallas for that matter. And we want to thank our sponsor, the Urban Team at Alibeth Ullman and Associates, a Berkshire Hathaway company. For those of you who aren't aware, Turtle Creek Association is really dedicated to making sure they maintain the natural beauty and the green space that really defines the Turtle Creek corridor while also meshing it with residential living. The goal here is to become one of the nation's premier urban green spaces and residential neighborhoods. And JD Trueblood is the president and CEO of the association. He's joining us now to talk more about what you're about to see today. And I know you've done so much work here. You deserve to be commended for it. And this is really just the beginning in so many ways.
You're absolutely right, Ron. We have lots of plans coming in the next 5 years. And so just stay tuned.
All right.
You know what? I need to take a moment and say thank you because we have a mutual friend. Her name was Jocelyn White.
Yeah.
And you know, she hosted this event for us last year, right? And unfortunately, Jocelyn is no longer with us. And you graciously stepped up and said, I'll do it. And for that, I say thank you so much.
Well, thank you for thinking of me because I was aligned with her in so many ways. Her passion for homes in Dallas, her passion for the people of Dallas, her giving back to, I can only hope to live up to the example she set, but I appreciate you allowing me to fill her shoes.
You and me both.
Yeah.
I don't know that either one of us can do it quite like Jocelyn.
I don't think so. She was one of a kind, and she's with us in spirit, and we're happy for that.
Yeah, absolutely. Today, we are going to take you into the most spectacular homes, like Ron just said. The first up, Ron, it's a Tudor. Now, personally, I like traditional style. Anyone that knows me, I'm all about the Ralph Lauren look. So this Tudor is amazing, and the homeowner, she has some tongue-in-cheek stories that she's going to share with us about how they went about restoring this home. You're definitely going to want to see this one.
Well, I also love that along the corridor you have single-family homes,
Yep.
larger estates, but you also have high-rise and mid-rise living, 3525, often called the Grand Dame
Yes.
of Turtle Creek Corridor. There is a condo you're going to see that really is like a Mad Men vibe, right? Like
Absolutely.
mid-century modern, but it's more eclectic and even more layered than that, so I'm really looking forward to that one. The other one is right here in the Warrington, and as traditional as this space looks, they've also sort of done a modern twist on things. You can really build out these units any way you want,
right,
regardless of how they look on the outside, but they've melded the indoors with the outdoors, which I think is really cool for condo living.
It really is, and it kind of feels like a treehouse because they're at the level where they're just at the top of the trees, and you kind of feel like you're living in a treehouse with the skyline in the background.
And why are those trees here?
Because of Turtle Creek Association.
Because of you all. That's why people are having treehouse living. You don't have to be on the top floor and have a downtown view to really feel like you're having a unique living experience.
That's right. That's right.
Yeah. And you all are probably tired of hearing us talk about it, so now we are going to show you these beautiful homes.
You're absolutely right, Ron. So without further ado, Life Elevated, the 20th annual Turtle Creek Association's Tour of Homes.
And in the spirit of Jocelyn White, are you ready?
I'm ready.
All right.
Let's get on with the show.
Up first is History Preserved. It's a classic Tudor that was built in 1934. You are sure to enjoy the elegant architectural details throughout, and I can't wait to show it to you.
I am so excited to be sitting in what we refer to as the classic Tudor. It is a beautiful home, it's a historic home, and it's one of the owners is sitting here with me, and it's Lindsay Baker and her designer, Javier Burkle of Burkle Creative. Guys, I'm so excited to be here. Your home is absolutely stunning. You both have done an amazing job. I have to admit, it's one of my favorites. This is kind of what I lean towards. It's more traditional. You know that, Javier. I'd like to start off. This home was completely redone, and you walked in for an open house and decided, we're going to buy this. Yeah. So talk to me about how that happened.
I was at home while my husband was golfing and decided to get a sitter at the last minute and go look at some homes with a good friend of mine. And I walked in this house and I just fell in love with it. I grew up in a Tudor that was built in the 1900s. And when I walked in here and saw all the original doorknobs and the creaks and the cracks and this love and history that was present in this home, I couldn't help but put an offer in on it. So, you know, every husband loves getting a call from their wife saying, I think I bought a house while you're golfing.
While he was golfing?
You know.
So I know you have some furniture from your family that you have incorporated into the home, and one of them is a pretty special table in the dining room. Javier, tell me about that table.
It's a very special table. It's a table that it was our centerpiece for the dining room. It's a table that Lindsay grew up using and painting with crayons, and I love hearing all the stories. It makes it so much more special. So that was kind of like our focal point for the dining room, and then we just built from there and bring some color, and we used a very loud wallpaper in the room, and from there on we kind of like started telling the story of the house, how we go around. So for the entire house we picked very jeweled, deep colors, and so that was kind of like our theme, our story that I wanted to show in every room. So the dining room is kind of like the green room, and the wallpaper has like all this green leaves and like bamboo theme, and it's very fun, and the center is the table.
So one of the things that's a pretty interesting story, the pool, there was an original pool here.
So I realized that I wanted to move the pool, and my husband asked me if I was a rapper, and I said, I didn't know that you didn't know that I am, and we're gonna move it 30 feet to the left. And he thought I was crazy, and I said, perhaps I am, but I know this is the right move. And so we took the pool that was where the turf is and moved it along the street side and created the space off of the back house, built the fireplace that Javier put the beautiful tile around, and created a whole nother living space outside that is welcoming and inviting and cozy. And I mean, I was out there last night with some girlfriends, and it's like Javier created an outdoor living room. It's phenomenal. He did a wonderful job.
Well, it's a resort. You've really kind of created a resort lifestyle back here, and the finished product is kind of an English garden effect almost, right? And the view is absolutely phenomenal.
There's something about having a house that you walk into and you're like, this is my forever home. This is where I'm going to raise my children. This is where they will grow up. This is where their memories will be, you know, kind of crafted. And it makes me happy to be here. And I really enjoy the process working with Javier to make it feel like the warm, inviting, monumentous home that it is to me.
So what I'm hearing is it was really important. It's almost that preservation piece. You really wanted to keep it true. If it wasn't true, you've brought it back. Right. And you've done a phenomenal job. I just can't thank you enough for allowing us to be in your beautiful home. This is what Turtle Creek is all about. These neighborhoods, they're pretty spectacular. We want to say thanks because you're helping us raise awareness and money so that we can preserve this beautiful area of Dallas, and you guys have been an integral part of that for us, so thank you so much. All right, guys, so we're off to the next home.
Next up is an authentic mid-century modern, and the homeowners have invited us in to talk about this beautiful restoration.
Hey guys, we're at the 3525 21A. This is one of my favorites. It's a mid-century modern, and I can't wait to show it to you. Let's check it out.
Welcome to 3525.
Janice, you look great. Oh my gosh.
How are you?
I'm great. How are you?
Great, thanks to see you.
Are you ready to show off your beautiful home?
I am.
All right,
Let's
let's go. So Janice, as you were moving back to Dallas from New York, what made you decide on the Turtle Creek corridor?
My husband and I have so many fond memories of this neighborhood. My husband this was his paper route when he was a boy. And I came here all the time with my parents. My mother used to get her hair done on the mezzanine level. There was a gentleman named Mr. John, and my mother would have the big blonde bouffant hairdo, and I would wait patiently on the mezzanine for her. I mean, it's just a fabulous building. It always has been.
Yeah. Tell me about what the vision was. What did you guys think about when you walked in? What were you thinking that you could do with this unit?
Well, so I found the unit first, and it was completely a time capsule. We were still living in New York, so I went back to New York and I showed John the photographs and I told him about the provenance of the apartment and Harwell Hamilton Harris being the man who did all this beautiful mid-century work that we see around us. And I said, this is a diamond in the rough, we've got to do it. And we bought the apartment, he didn't even see it.
So sight unseen.
Sight unseen.
Sight
yes.
unseen. Wow.
And so then we moved here and started the renovation. But both of us, our goal was just to keep it really honoring what happened in the 50s here and just restoring it lovingly.
So
making it more modern, preserving it.
Yeah, so preservation was really important.
Yes, that was really important.
Where's your special place? Like, where do you, when you need to have a cocktail, where do you go?
I love the terrace.
The terrace?
I love the terrace.
You want to show it to me?
Sure.
Let's go.
Let's do it. Should we bring our wine?
Yes, absolutely.
Maybe we can have a cocktail on the terrace.
Uh-huh. The patio is amazing.
Thank you.
But I also really appreciate the renovation you guys have done.
Thank you.
Can you tell me a little bit more about what it took to renovate all this bamboo and all the woodwork?
It was really difficult. Everything was faded. All the wood had been faded from, 1957. Like, for example, this bamboo. These are Paul McCaw built-ins from 1957.
So one of the things that's really interesting is this photo in this book. It's your home.
Yeah, I recreated it.
Yeah.
I wanted it to stay exactly the same.
Say exactly the same,
Exactly
right?
the same, just a little bit more modern. I loved the look, but I wanted it to be softer.
Yeah.
So we changed the bench to wood, and then we softened it up with a mother of pearl tile.
Yeah, I see that.
Like, we kept the same feeling.
Yeah, it's gorgeous.
Thank you.
It's very nice.
Thanks.
So I want to see the art that means the most to you. What collection?
Well, my favorite are my John Pomaras.
Okay.
These diptychs.
Oh. What does this art say to you?
Oh, it's personal because it's been with me for a long time. We've had it forever, since '88, and it's lived all over the world with us. And it says to me, wake up.
It says, wake up. My favorite piece is this one here.
You like the orange?
Yeah, there's something.
Yeah, it's
there's
very mysterious.
Yeah, there's
It's like Mars.
Yeah, there's an
Yeah.
energy that comes off
It's
of it.
very energetic.
Yeah, I really like
Yeah.
it.
He was about to quit, I think, when this work was done. And so I think that's why you feel that energy from it, because it was really just, the work right before he became famous.
Wow, that's amazing.
Yeah, it's special. So this would essentially be the third bedroom.
Okay.
And we just decided to make it an office/library place for our books and photographs. And it's interesting because when we were doing this portion of the renovation, the window people came in to install the windows, and they said, we think you have another window.
Really?
Yeah, so this window was a surprise. It was boarded up, and we're really grateful to have another window.
Oh my gosh,
It's always
the
so
light.
amazing.
Yeah, the light that
Yeah.
we have here is
Yeah.
amazing.
And this is the master bedroom.
Oh my gosh, this is amazing.
Thank you.
Look at that view. Okay, unbelievable. The lighting, everything you've done in here
Thank you.
is absolutely gorgeous.
Thank you.
And then look at the park.
Well, it's the corridor.
This is what it's all about.
Yeah.
We're trying to protect this.
Yeah.
And so this home tour and raising this money is all about this little green belt that stretches 90 acres. And it's Dallas's front yard. Up to us to take care of it.
Absolutely.
I really appreciate you and John allowing us to be in your home.
You're welcome.
Because without you, this doesn't happen.
Thank you.
So we really appreciate it.
Thank you so much. My pleasure.
It's beautiful.
It is. It's incredible.
Yeah.
This next segment is a special tribute to the late, great Judy Pittman, who was also known as the Queen of Turtle Creek Boulevard. Her family has graciously agreed to allow us one last glimpse into her iconic residence. This special segment is a celebration of her and the elevated lifestyle she brought to the corridor. Welcome to Traditional.
We are here today standing in the late, great Judy Pittman's estate. And what an honor it is to be here one last time. And Camille Fournier, who is the president and CEO of Judy Pittman Inc., has graciously allowed us one last opportunity to take a look at this beautiful estate. Camille, what does it feel like when you walk in and you see all this?
Absolutely gorgeous. It's so Judy Pittman. I mean, everything about this just exudes what Turtle Creek High Rise was to her.
So Judy was known as the Queen of Turtle Creek Boulevard. Tell me a little bit about that. What did that really mean?
Well, this was what she considered the gem of Dallas. I mean, it's our central park, Turtle Creek Park and Turtle Creek Boulevard, and she wanted it to be beautiful for all of Dallas, but also for all the homeowners of Dallas. So she was one of the ones that started the Adopt-A-Beds and the home tour so that we could raise money, because the city can't fund everything that we need to make this boulevard as gorgeous as it needs to be.
You're right. She actually she was one of the founders of Turtle Creek Association. She recognized this as one of Dallas's gems, and she wanted to protect it, right?
Absolutely.
And so being the queen of Turtle Creek Boulevard, to me, when I hear that, was about bringing the right people into these buildings and just building up this area so that it truly represented an elevated lifestyle of Dallas. Okay, Camille, so it's time for the grand tour. And I know you have a pretty interesting little story the first day that Judy walked into this place. So let's go take a look.
All right, come my way. Well, come on in this room, because this is where it all began.
Okay.
So Eric Johnson was the original owner of this apartment, and when Judy bought it, this room was a closed-in dining room, and she was like, let's get hammers and see if we can open it up. So we started pounding this wall, and we were so delighted there was nothing in it.
So the first day, she's taking hammers. She comes in here,
Absolutely.
she's probably dressed to the nines, and
Oh,
she's
yes.
taking hammers to the walls. Okay, that's a great story. So Camille, Judy was known for her hats.
Absolutely.
Any way we can take a glimpse at them?
Sure, come on.
All right.
Well, come on in here and you can see Judy's hat collection.
Oh my.
I know, they're just beautiful, and they're all different.
So what are you going to do with this collection?
Well, I think what we're going to do is let each relative choose one,
Okay.
because everybody remembers this.
They probably have a special moment
They do,
that she had that hat on, and it's a memory, and it will
Yes.
always be a memory for them.
absolutely.
That's a great idea. So Camille, is there a favorite hat for you?
Well, I love them all, but like this one, she would wear in the fall, which that's what we're going into now, and it's so beautiful.
So that'll be your special hat that you get to keep.
Maybe.
There you go. So Camille, where would Judy go when she just needed that break? What was her favorite room?
Well, let me show you.
Okay.
Right here. This is the dog room. Judy had a beautiful collection of George Armfelds, and Judy loved dogs. When she first moved into this building, she had a Labrador. And so dogs were very, very important to Judy. And when she first started in High Rise, there was a weight limit on dogs. And so what she did with every building that she was associated with, she got that rule changed, because she said nobody will move in without their dog.
That's right.
people's dogs are like their children.
That's right.
And they're not going to give them up just to move into a high-rise.
So Camille, as we've walked through the home, there's obviously collection after collection. And so I'm just curious, look at this, these beautiful blue plates. Did Judy do this herself, or did she have someone that helped her?
Judy did it all herself.
So she worked with both sides of her brain.
Absolutely. And was in charge of everything.
Intimately involved.
Intimately involved. From knocking the wall out to putting this beautiful fabric behind the cabinets here, to her beautiful Staffordshire collection, all of her collections. I mean, they were real special to her.
This is one of my favorite areas because as you sit here, you could have breakfast, you have the park view, you have the skyline view. You could open these doors up and get great fresh air.
It's beautiful.
Yeah, it's gorgeous. I got one last question. What happens with the legacy of Judy Pittman, Inc., the real estate company?
Well, I'm glad you asked because I have had my license with Judy since I was in my early 20s. And therefore, she left the company to me. I'm the president and CEO. I'm working at rebranding it and making it alive and beautiful just like she did.
That's great to hear. She meant so much to so many people on this boulevard, and so I think this is going to mean a lot to them to see
Well,
this.
thank you. I appreciate it too. And I do have one other little thing.
Oh, really?
She has another collection that I know everybody's seen her drive around in. So would you like to see it?
Oh my gosh, yes. Are you talking about the cars?
Yes, the cars.
Oh, absolutely.
Judy loved cars. I mean, our whole family loves cars. And Judy was one of them that loved cars. I mean, she even taught me to drive, so.
Oh my gosh, let's
Yes.
go. Let's
Okay.
go. All right, guys, I get a ride in a Rolls Royce, first time ever. We're headed to the next home here on Turtle Creek Boulevard. We'll see you there.
Our next home is known as Torenga, which means hospitality. Its streamlined modern feel is truly enchanting. And get ready for some serious closet envy. This is Modern Contemporary.
We're at the Warrington, and I'm talking with Justin Elmore of Parmore Construction. Justin, you have a pretty interesting story how you started work here at the Warrington. Why don't you tell us about it?
Well, I started when I was a little kid, around 13, working for my dad. After college, I got full-time with my dad, and we just slowly grew to where we almost exclusively worked down Turtle Creek in Highland Park, and mostly high-rise condos.
Okay. Well, the work, as far as I can tell here, is phenomenal. This is quite a unit. So let's talk about it. In the entryway, special treatment was done in the floor. Can you tell me about that?
It was. So the designer and architect, they wanted to do something special instead of having straight floors. So they added this hexagon inlay, and then the lights kind of mirrored on the ceiling. It was a very challenging project, but I believe at the very end of the day that it's beautiful and it speaks for itself. That's the real reward. That's what I like, is when you're done, you look at it and you think in the back of your mind, I don't know how that's gonna work, but then it works out and it looks great. That's what I truly enjoy.
When you walk in here too, one thing you can't help but notice are the reveals and all of the recessed lighting. And I noticed that you even have like little pin lights in some of the reveals. Right. So how difficult was that to get those so symmetrical and lined up? You can tell you guys spent a lot of time with that.
It's very difficult, especially when you're trying to make the whole condo, we try to make everything balanced. So in these condos, they're not perfectly square. Matter of fact, they're not even level from one end to the other end. I think it was 1.25 inches off.
Is anything in Dallas perfectly level?
No, it's not. So, but the time it took to lay out and then add the reveals, and the labor it took to sand the reveals, fill all the corners, paint them, prep them. I mean, it's so labor intensive, but when you're done and you walk in and see these reveals, I think it's the first thing people see when they walk in. They walk in and just get blown away when they walk down this whole corridor right here. They love it. They love it.
It's amazing.
Yes.
So when I look at this kitchen, I see artistry as well, especially how you hid the outlets. Right. Tell me about that.
So that was actually a mid-swing. We already had everything done. We were getting ready to put the granite in, and they decided, I don't want to see the outlets. So True Fig has a product out, and then the marble people were able to manufacture plate covers out of the same marble and hide them. So you kind of really don't, they blend in. They're not 100% grain match, but they found other pieces that followed some of the grains, so you really don't notice them, but it makes them blend in. You don't see them, and it doesn't become an eyesore, you know, as most people see when they see a nice, beautiful quartzite backsplash. They'll see, you know, nothing unless you plug something in. And then there's a couple of there's a pop-up in the island that's beautiful. Eggersman did a great job.
So let's talk about the closets now.
Okay.
Definitely have closet envy.
Right, my wife does too.
And what I appreciate is not only closet envy for her, but closet envy for him as well.
Correct.
Beautiful. They were stunning. They're simply stunning.
They are.
Justin, I can't begin to thank you enough for allowing us to interview you here at this beautiful home. You guys have hit this one out of the park for sure, and it's clear your reputation precedes you and why it does, and you do high quality work.
Thank you.
It's very
It
impressive.
was my pleasure.
So now we're off to the next home.
If you're into rich layered interior design, highlighting a series of eras and movements, then this eclectic charm is the one for you.
So now we're at another 3525 unit that's been completely restored. The owner shared with me that when she walked into this unit, it was like stepping back in time, 1957. Here with me is Josh Pickering of Pickering House Interiors. Josh, what was it like when you walked into this unit for the first time and you saw pretty much 1957, everything in existence?
You know, it was in pretty raw condition where we could just build what we needed to do, and there hadn't been renovations that had messed things up. A lot of units have taken in the terrace. We tried to keep with the plan that the architect originally intended. I mean, this living room that we're sitting in, it was cut in half at some points. They had added a third bedroom, and so we restored the original location and size of the living room. We've chambered off the dining room and the entry to kind of create kind of a classic layout and get a little bit of symmetry where we could, but staying in keeping with the original intent of the building.
That's awesome. As I go through this unit, color scheme was really important. So tell me about the color scheme.
You know, the client really is drawn to, you know, greens and kind of really natural colors, the kind of leafy greens that, you know, things that you see in nature, you know. So we've got, you know, we did the faux bois dining chairs in the dining room, just, you know, to little influences stylistically and then color-wise. So, I mean, different shades of green are kind of used throughout. There's definitely kind of continuity throughout the unit.
Well, I was going to say it kind of also goes with the park. as you look out, right?
Yes, I mean, well, even though you're in a high-rise, the idea is that you still have this kind of these natural influences, this garden kind of setting. I mean, you look out and we're looking at the treetops of Turtle Creek, and I mean, and we can see into Highland Park. You know, the greenery is around us. So even though we're in a high rise, it was important to have that sensibility because it's definitely, it's comforting. It's warm. It's inviting to have those ties down, you know, to the natural setting that we are in here.
I recall that being able to display some very sentimental pieces and that was important to this homeowner as well. Can you share a little bit more about that?
The homeowner had multiple generations of family heirlooms and things that have been passed down. And there's a case in the study, in the second bedroom study. We kept the original bookcases. We just modified them, added to them, painted the room. But the previous owner had a glass case in there, which ended up being the perfect spot for his father's collection of lighters.
Cigarette lighters?
Cigarette lighters that had never been displayed in their previous home. And I mean, it's a fantastic collection. It has so much personality and history.
Also, tell me about the metal flowers that are displayed in that same room.
That's another great little story. So the homeowner's mother handmade all of these metal little. With tin snips, she made all of these handmade flowers and hand painted them. We got these vases in a perfect spot to display them on the window ledge, which kind of framing up the view of downtown is really nice there.
That's awesome. What room is your favorite room that you've done?
It's hard to pick a favorite. I mean, I think that there are so many. I love that this apartment has different moments, different little personalities, different moods. I love how cozy the breakfast room came out to be. It just envelops you with all of this greenery.
Well, tell me about that light that's hanging over the dining room table.
I just wanted something there that would contrast the background. Something light, something modern, something that reflects back to the idea of this kind of 1950s. We have a little bit of mid-century, a little bit of very traditional things. So that light definitely inhabits the spirit of the place.
It tied it all together, right?
Right.
Yeah.
But I have to say, probably my favorite would be the dining room. I think that the dining room just turned out to be such a serene, color combination with this kind of gray lavender we did on the walls, which was inspired by a color similar to what she had in her previous home, and we just we tweaked it and ran with it. But our touches of green and kind of natural influences throughout. But that room has such a serene moment.
Well, Josh, can't thank you enough for sitting here and talking with us and sharing the stories.
Absolutely.
I know when I walked into this home the first time, I agree. I felt like it hugged me.
Yeah, it's very warm.
It is definitely one of my favorites. It's so well done, and I say hats off to you. You did an awesome job.
Thank you, and we'll have to give our kudos to the
owner and the contractor as well
for
right?
allowing me to work with them and for letting us do this today.
Thank you so much.
Hey guys, we got a special feature, an interview with Carlton Varney. We go straight to the source to learn more about interior design trends using wallpaper from the pro.
Good evening, Turtle Creek Association. All of you wonderful people who've gone on this virtual tour of this home tour in Dallas, Texas. I'm Carlton Varney. I'm the president of Dorothy Draper and Company, Inc. We are one of the oldest established design and decorating firms in America, having begun in 1925. And here I am, I've been 66 years president of this company. And we make wall coverings, fabrics, we design furniture, we do all kinds of residential work, and we do all kinds of corporate work, hotels, restaurants, aircraft, cruise ships, you name it, we've been doing it for many, many years. Anyway, I'm here to talk to you today about wallpaper and to welcome you to this virtual presentation. We are introducing a wall covering that Mrs. Draper did way back in 1939. And it's a very famous wallpaper. It's called Brazilians. And many of you have seen this in the Greenbrier Hotel because a few years ago I put it on all the walls going down to the casino. But we've also done an adaptation of this, and it's called Brazilians Grove, which Kyle and Ann have used in their new house in Carson City. We also have designed a fabric, a wall covering fabric, and which is called Valley High. So if you remember the movie, Valley High is the island off the coast in South Pacific. And you can remember the lovely lady who sang Valley High keeps calling, Valley High, Valley High. This particular trellis wall covering gives you the feeling that there's distance beyond, as if you were looking through a big, wonderful trellis. You can see right beyond, and you'll get to see how the Carlton Varney, Dorothy Draper look as making that new house for Kyle and Ann a dream of Valley High.
Our last home is at the Claridge, a Dallas legend. I was given a unique opportunity to share with you the homeowner's furnishings, art, and some pretty incredible stories that add dimension to this must-see home. Something I'd call contemporary living.
Okay, guys, I am so excited because we're in the modern contemporary that's owned by Elaine Agather. I got to actually meet Elaine, and she was an incredible woman. And I'm going to share a lot of information about this beautiful home. So first of all, I asked Elaine, why this location? It was really important to her because it's close to Love Field. It's close to downtown. It was all about location, location, location. And what she loved was the uninterrupted views that she has to downtown and also the park. I got some stuff I want to show you. This place is used basically for her entertainment. It's actually their second home. So let's take a look. Come on, come with me. I want to show you the dining area. And at this table, a lot of Dallas dignitaries like Laura Bush, the president of Chase Bank, have actually dined here. So this cracks me up. You look at it and it looks like two dogs are waiting for their homeowner, right? If you take a closer look, they're actually stuffed animals. And Elaine shared with me that she cracks up laughing every time she sees this. And so I think it just gives you some insight into her character, that when she said to her designer, it just has to be fun. I want to be able to come in here and have fun. And I thought this was a great example of that. I also want to show you something else that will give us some additional insight into her character. Take a look at this bookcase. Elaine wanted this room to be warm, and she's done that with things of sentimental value. First of all, she's a cowgirl. She came from Sherman. She loves horses, and she collects vintage cowgirl outfits. If you take a look at all of the cowgirl boots, they're art. So when you think about fun, remember that was very important to Elaine. This room reflects that. Take a look at these beautiful pillows. They're so colorful and vibrant. And look at this rug. It's a kaleidoscope of color. So one of the questions that I asked Elaine was, where's your favorite spot in this condo? Where do you go to relax and maybe have a cocktail? She told me it was right here in this chair. As I look out on this incredible view, I'm kind of wondering if it's because she can actually see her bank from here. There's one last collection I've got to share with you. Remember, Elaine's all about fun, right? You would never expect an executive of a large bank to have Barbie dolls. So these Barbie dolls represent actual outfits that Elaine has worn to different events here in Dallas. These are near and dear to Elaine. And again, I think it just provides tremendous insight into this executive that just wants to have some fun. In closing, there's one last thing I want to share with you. Elaine talked about how vibrant the city of Dallas is. She knows because she's been all over this country. She also said it's our responsibility to take care of it. We got to make sure it stays a vibrant city. It made me think about the corridor. We also have to take care of this corridor. We got to protect the corridor. We got to preserve it, and we've got to enhance it for generations to come. Thank you for joining us today for Life Elevated, our 20th annual Turtle Creek Association's Tour of Homes. I'd like to take a moment to thank all of our members, the community, and of course our sponsors. Because you know what? Without you, none of this is possible. Our mission at Turtle Creek Association is to preserve, protect, and enhance this beautiful urban oasis that we call Turtle Creek. Our future is to develop this into a premier urban green space and neighborhood. We encourage you to go to our website, turtlecreekassociation.org, and make a donation. If you're a member, thank you. If you're not a member, we encourage you to become one. If you just want to make a donation, you can also just make a donation because it all matters. It all counts towards making this a beautiful, green urban space for all of Dallas to enjoy. So guys, that's it. It's a wrap, as they say in the industry. Thank you for being here, and we hope you'll join us next year for our 21st annual Tour of Homes.